The introduction to World War I, as the prelude to global conflict, sets the stage for understanding the complex factors that led to the first large-scale international war of the modern era, a war that redefined warfare forever. This concept focuses on the multitude of political, social, and economic tensions that had been simmering across Europe and beyond, creating a volatile environment poised for conflict. The intricate system of alliances, burgeoning nationalism, military buildup, and colonial ambitions all contributed to a tinderbox situation, where a single spark could ignite a global conflagration. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 was that spark, unleashing a war involving more than 30 nations. The significance of this prelude lies in its role as a catalyst for change, not only in the mechanics of warfare, but also in international relations and geopolitical dynamics. The intricate web of alliances, such as the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance, meant that a regional conflict in the Balkans rapidly escalated into a world war. The anticipation and fear of being left vulnerable or irrelevant on the global stage drove countries into war, accentuating the necessity to abandon previous warfare concepts and adapt to new realities like total war and trench warfare. Two specific examples illustrate this point. First, the naval arms race, particularly between Britain and Germany, exemplified the fears of technological and military inferiority driving nations to strengthen their capabilities aggressively. Second, the Balkan Wars of 1912-1913 spotlight the volatile, nationalistic fervor in southeastern Europe, directly contributing to the tensions leading to World War I. These examples show how localized conflicts and rivalries could spiral into widespread hostilities due to the interconnected nature of international alliances and interests. Opinions supporting the inevitability of conflict suggest that the competitive and distrustful nature of European powers made war almost unavoidable. However, alternative viewpoints highlight missed opportunities for diplomacy and conflict resolution, suggesting that a different approach might have diffused tensions. Critics argue that shared apprehensions and the arms race mentality left little room for diplomacy. This prelude to global conflict is intrinsically connected to other aspects of World War I, influencing technological advancements, strategies, and the geopolitical landscape. It underlines the transformation from traditional warfare to modern war, characterized by industrial scale, technological innovations, and global collaboration, setting precedents for future conflicts and shaping to 20th century geopolitics. The prelude delineates not just the path to war, but the road to pervasive change, fundamentally altering how wars are perceived and waged. The outbreak and early stages of World War I marked a significant shift in global politics and military tactics. World War I began in 1914, triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, setting off a chain reaction among European powers due to a web of alliances and mutual defense pacts. This period saw the rapid mobilization of forces, with countries such as Germany, France, Russia, and Britain gearing up for what many initially believed would be a short conflict. However, the nature of warfare soon evolved, leading to a prolonged and grueling battle that fundamentally changed military strategies and technologies. The significance of this early phase lies in its transformation of warfare, demonstrating that industrialization had changed the battlefield. The early stages saw the introduction of trench warfare, where armies faced each other from opposing trenches, leading to a deadly stalemate characterized by attrition and massive casualties. It highlighted the limits of traditional military tactics against modern weapons like machine guns and artillery. The early phases of the war also set the stage for innovations in warfare, such as the use of airplanes for reconnaissance and the introduction of chemical weapons, thereby shaping future conflicts. One specific example illustrating this point is the Battle of the Marne in 1914, where the French and British forces managed to halt the German advance, showcasing the impact of coordinated defensive strategies. Another is the early use of new military technology, such as at the Battle of Tannenberg, where the Germans used railways and modern communications to encircle and decimate Russian forces. Opinions among historians suggest that World War I was the first total war, involving entire nations rather than just professional armies. This era emphasized the mobilization of entire societies and economies for the war effort, setting precedents for future global conflicts. However, some scholars argue that the causes of the war were deeply rooted in the political and social tensions of the time, rather than merely technological or strategic developments. The outbreak and early stages of World War I also faced controversies and challenges. Some debate whether the war could have been avoided had diplomatic efforts been more robust. Others discuss the moral implications of total warfare and the first use of weapons of mass destruction. This early period influenced the broader context of World War I by setting the stage for later developments, including the involvement of the United States and the eventual tactics that would help break the stalemate on the Western Front. Understanding these initial stages is crucial for comprehending not only World War I itself, but also its lasting impact on future conflicts and international relations. Trench warfare during World War I represents a defining element of the conflict and signifies a pivotal transformation in military strategy. Trench warfare is a method of fighting where opposing sides construct extensive networks of fortified trenches to protect troops from enemy fire. This approach led to prolonged stalemates, as both sides found it nearly impossible to advance significantly against deeply entrenched opponents, making it a grim symbol of World War I's broader scale of devastation. The importance of trench warfare in World War I cannot be overstated. It showcased the shift from fast-moving battles to a war of attrition, where victory depended more on the sustained wearing down of the opponent rather than swift conflicts. This method of combat highlighted the limits of traditional military tactics against modern automatic weaponry, profoundly influencing warfare's future direction. Moreover, trench warfare exacerbated the brutality of the war, leading to horrific conditions for soldiers, with rampant diseases, psychological trauma, and appalling casualty rates. Real-world illustrations of trench warfare's impact include the Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Verdun. The Battle of the Somme, starting in July 1916, saw over 1 million men wounded or killed, exemplifying the immense human cost and futility of this stationary form of warfare. Similarly, Verdun became synonymous with grinding attrition and defensive stalemate, where French and German forces were locked in a brutal contest for territory at an enormous human cost. While trench warfare underscored the need for military innovation, various perspectives emerged. Supporters argue that trench defenses, despite their harsh conditions, provided necessary protection against advanced weaponry, allowing forces to hold significant territory. Critics, however, view trench warfare as a futile strategy, resulting in senseless slaughter and stagnation. questioning its overall effectiveness and humanity. Challenges associated with trench warfare include its contribution to a prolonged, inconclusive conflict, draining resources and morale on a massive scale. Additionally, the conditions in the trenches fostered public disillusionment with the war, influencing post-war sentiments and policies. Trench warfare's influence reverberates through various aspects of the conflict, fueling technological advancements such as tanks and chemical weapons designed to break stalemates. These innovations, in turn, set the stage for World War II and subsequent military strategies. As a microcosm of World War I's broader themes, trench warfare represents both the desperate resilience and tragic cost of a war that irrevocably altered the course of history. World War I marked a dramatic shift in warfare, largely due to significant technological advancements. These innovations redefined combat strategy and had a lasting impact on military tactics that extend to modern warfare. The introduction of new technology during this period not only changed how wars were fought, but also increased the scale and lethality of military engagements. One of the most significant advancements during World War I was the development and use of trench warfare in combination with machine guns. The Maxim gun, capable of firing hundreds of rounds per minute, revolutionized defensive measures and made traditional charges across open fields deeply perilous and often futile. This innovation underscored the grim reality that the battlefield was now dominated by machines rather than men. Another groundbreaking development was the introduction of chemical warfare. The use of chlorine and mustard gas inflicted devastating injuries and psychological trauma, adding an invisible, pervasive threat that soldiers had never encountered before. While initially effective, chemical weapons eventually prompted international bans due to their indiscriminate nature and horrific effects. The impact of these technological advancements extended beyond the battlefield. The industrial might required to produce war machinery led to an upsurge in nations' industrial capacities and innovation, influencing economies worldwide. Furthermore, these advancements illustrated the increasing separation between military and civilian spheres, as the destructive potential of war technology began to cause casualties far from the front lines. Opinions on these developments vary. Some historians argue that the technological surge accelerated the end of the war by overwhelming conventional defenses, while others contend that it resulted in a costly stalemate and unnecessary loss of life. The ethical implications of technologies such as chemical weapons continue to spark debate today. Challenges arose as nations grappled with the unforeseen consequences of technological advancements. There was a clear controversy regarding the use of chemical weapons, leading to the Geneva Protocol of 1925, which sought to ban such weapons, highlighting a growing awareness of the need for wartime regulation. These technological changes during World War I not only transformed military strategies, but also influenced geopolitical dynamics, leading to further advancements in warfare technology in World War II, the Cold War, and beyond. The technological leaps made during World War I were emblematic of a period that forced nations to reconcile advancements with humanitarian considerations, a duality that continues to resonate in global military policies today.